What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ty, back at y'all with another video. Y'all hit that like button. Y'all comment, share, subscribe if you new. Now, my 11 through 15, we're gonna finish this off. I wanted to do it last time. Anybody who tuned into my last video, I didn't really go into depth on why, but it got postponed due to some crazy happening, bro. So, you know. But with that being said, we back, y'all, and we lit. Let's get this 11 through 15 out the way. All right? Now, this is very controversial. My whole list has been. I really ain't had too much traction from it. I mean, it don't matter at the end of the day. But my opinion is my opinion, and you know, I'm actually backing it up with empirical data. So we're gonna get this 11 through 15 out the way, bro. Right? So 11. This was kind of tough because they kind of like, you can basically put one over the other, but I had did the right thing. I had went with my first mind and said, because originally I had my 11, my 12 was my 11 and my 11 was my 12, but I switched it up, right? So number 11, I have Moses Malone. A lot of people don't talk about Moses Malone, one of the greatest rebounders of all time. He actually led the Philadelphia 76ers to the championship in '83, won the championship there as well as the best player. Let's see what else about Moses Malone, man. He actually played. He had the great like series clinching game 4 he had. He out rebounded the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and sealed that championship. I think Kareem was playing for the Lakers then, if I'm not mistaken. But he grabbed 23 rebounds in that game, one of the greatest rebounders of all time. And I think he's top 10 all time, and he's top 10 all time in points scored. So you know, he is a top. So for that rank, for that magnitude, and then I think he's one of the top rebounders, if not he leads the whole, like he basically leads the history. He basically leads in rebounding of all time. He's the greatest one of the greatest rebounders of all time. I think he holds the record for it. And yeah, he like for most like offensive rebounds, he has 6,731, and he's ranked, like I said, top 10 all time in points scored, right? Oh, and like I said, offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds. So he was a great rebounder, and he was a great scorer as well. And he also played in the ABA and the NBA. He still accumulated some accolades in the ABA. He was an all-star. He was I think he was like all rookie first team in the ABA as well. That's one of the main reasons why these players are so great, because they actually was in a different like association of basketball, and they basically like translated over to the NBA, because the ABA and the NBA was like two different leagues at the time, right? So Moses Malone played in both of those. I think he, like, the NBA started in like 76, 75, 76, and that's when he transitioned over, and you know, and he transitioned over and still was great as well. Like I said, he's a 12-time All-Star, 3-time league MVP. He holds, like I said, he holds the record. He holds the records for most free throws made as well. He has and he holds the record for most offensive rebounds, top 10 leader in points and rebounds, man. And he was also the first player that transitioned over from like high school to the pros. He's the first one to ever do what Moses Malone was, right? So Moses Malone was great. He's number 11 on my list. You could argue the next person I'm finna say, you could easily argue him over him, but I chose Moses over him due to what he's accomplished. Like when it comes to the rebounding, the scoring, and things of that nature. And this player is in this conversation as well. But I just feel like Moses was better, just slightly. right? And it was also better. He was also better when they was on the same team. So, my number 12, y'all, is Dr. J, right? One of the greatest athletes of all time, man. Like, I remember, like, in NBA Live 2003, back when I was playing video games heavy. This was before my pops died, my dad died. Me and him used to always play basketball when I was young. Like, I really was like, I really got like into the NBA when I was like really young, like a kid. Like, I started watching basketball. I was still young, of course, and I was still understanding the game, but like around that 03, 04 mark, I started to like watch basketball and actually watch it with my dad. And he was an advocate of the San Antonio Spurs. He loved the Tim Duncan them, and my mom, she loved the Kobe Bryant and the Lakers and things of that nature with Shaq and Kobe and all that other stuff. So they was kind of on a they was kind of going back and forth around that. So I really got introduced to a lot of this stuff with my moms and my dad, because they used to love sports, and my mom still loves sports as well. But with that being said, I used to play NBA Live 2003 with my dad. And I used to play with Dr. J and them. I think it was like an all-star like team he was on. One of the greatest athletes. Like I was young. Of course, my dad whooped me plenty of times playing basketball, but it was times where I got him playing basketball. And I used to play with Dr. J now. I swear I was undefeated with Dr. J, playing for the all-star, like playing with the all-star team he was on. Just straight dominant with him. So Dr. J was like one of the greatest athletes of all time, man. And not to mention he was a very great passer too. But I digress with that. Just went down memory lane a little bit, you know, thinking about my dad and stuff. But like I said, he actually got majority of his accolades in the ABA, besides Moses, right? He was in the NBA a little bit longer than Moses was, but he got most of his accolades in the ABA. He also won in the NBA as well. So that's one of the main reasons why I have these guys where I have them, because they did it in two like associations. That shows greatness. That's great. And not to mention, I'm very, you know, I'm a fan of, you know, like I said, history as well. So with that being said, Dr. J played 11 seasons. He won 3 NBA titles. He won 2 of his NBA titles in the ABA. He won a title playing alongside Moses Malone in '83. My bad, y'all. He won that title alongside Moses Malone in '83, right? So he played a big catalyst in Philly winning that championship, playing against Kareem, right? But Moses Malone was the best player, but both of them, you know, played, you know, did their part, right? So he was an 11-time All-Star, 2-time NBA All-Star, MVP, 5 All-NBA Defensive First Teams, 2nd All-NBA. Like I said, he won 2 ABA titles, and he won 2 ABA playoff MVPs as well. He won 3 ABA MVPs, and one of his greatest seasons in '81 and '82, where he averaged like 24 points a game. He shot like one of the, like, his career best was like, I think 54% from the field, and he was great that season as well. And he also had a career high December 4th. I mean, it was December 2nd. I think it was 83 or 84. He had a career high in rebounds that whole year that he won one of his I don't think he won MVP that year, but he played 81 of the 82 games that season, and he was dominant. That was his best, like one of his best seasons, if not his best season, averaging 24 points a game, career highs, and his best career field goal percentage was at 54%. He had a game that year where he grabbed a career high and 18 rebounds. And like I said, he was an underrated passer as well. He also dished out 10 assists against the Atlanta Hawks that same year as well. So his best overall year, I say, was around that season, right? And then it led on to him winning the title in '83 alongside Moses. So Dr. Dre was great, one of the greatest athletes of all time. Like Dr. Dre was great. Dr. J was great. Julius Erving was a great player, bro. Like, I mean, it took me back down to memory lane a little bit with my dad, man, when you play NBA Live. But that's when I actually like. Of course, I didn't watch Dr. J play, but that's like seeing him play. Like I understand, it's like not watching. You got to actually watch him in real time to actually understand a little bit of Dr. J's game as well. But that's when I first like actually got introduced to like Dr. J. Like I was like, he was great, bro. He was great, right? So that's my number 12. You can argue either one of those two over each other, but I just chose Moses over Dr. J. Slightly, just slightly. You can argue that's an argument, right? I just gave Moses the slight edge over Dr. J. 13, I got y'all boy Kobe Bryant, right? I understand that's controversial. You got people saying, oh, he top 10, top 5, top 3, second to Jordan. Not the case, bro. I'm sorry. Kobe Bryant was great, but he's not in that. He's not in that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. But still was great though. And he did some things that I didn't even know that I actually wrote down that he did, which is like, I know how to give respect where respect is due. I'm not disrespecting Kobe at all. He's just not top 10 or top 5 or top 3, right? These players that I named before him, they better, right? And they was more impactful on their teams, in my opinion. But Kobe Bryant's a 5-time NBA champion, right? He got one league MVP, won in 08. That's when he became a great player. Because keep in mind, that was his one long MVP he won. A lot of y'all, that's controversial as well, right? But it was a reason why he just won that one long MVP. That's when he started to become great, like post Shaq, right? Because in 06 and 07, we already know what the deal was with that. But I'm not nitpicking him. We're not gonna, do that, right? But won the championship and won the NBA MVP in 08. Right? 2-time finals MVP, won in 09 and 2010. 12-time all defensive first teams, 08 Olympic gold medalist. He came there and basically like his leadership and his tenacity as a basketball player helped prevail those guys in 08 because LeBron and wasn't ready at the time. And a lot of people don't talk about this. This is why I'm telling y'all. Dwayne Wade led that team in 08 in the Olympics in points per game coming off the bench. So that's what I'm telling y'all. Like Dwayne Wade at his peak is up there, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all this. I'm trying to tell y'all. I forgot how great Dwayne Wade was in 08 in that Olympics. So let's be clear about that. Let's be clear. That's the reason why, Dwayne Wade was great in the Olympics as well. But Kobe was the leading catalyst. He was the leader. So you give respect what respect is due with that. He won the scoring title in 06 and 07, 2-time scoring title, right? This is what I did know about Kobe. Of course, I did know about this. He has the most points scored in the arena that he played in, Staples, 16,161. Most games played. No, he has the most points scored in the arena at 6,161. And he had, but this was at the, of course he scored more as well. But you know what I'm getting what I'm saying. He has the most games played at the arena at 599. He has the most points scored in 3 quarters at 62. Of course, I did know about that. And he also has the most points free throws scored. He has the most free throws scored, that being 51 against the 2001 playoffs against the Kings. I mean, I didn't know that, right? But I told y'all, I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was the game Shaq fouled out, right? So, I'm not, like I said, he was great. Not knocking that. But unbelievable. He wasn't facing double teams, but he was still phenomenal. Don't take none away from that, but we gotta put stuff in context when it comes to y'all. When it comes to y'all, boy. I mean, somebody got to tell the truth, right? So he has the most points scored in the modern era at 81. We all know that. Like, one thing I will say about Kobe, he could get as hot as anybody. When he's on, he's on. If he's on from the 3-point line, ain't no stopping him. When he's operating in that mid-range and in the post, it's no stopping him. He's one of the greatest streaky shooters in the history of basketball. Can't nobody get as hot as Kobe. He was great. One of the greatest streaky scorers in the history of basketball. When he was on, he was on. Kobe was great. And he also had we all know this, after his death in 2020, he had the All-Star award named after him when he passed. Kobe Bryant was great. Rest in peace to the Black Mamba. It's all love at the end of the day, but a lot of y'all dudes be lying. Y'all y'all like to bring up other players to defend him, and somebody got to tell the truth about him, bro. But like I said, don't take none away from his greatness. He was still a all-time great player. And top 15 is not bad for Kobe. Like, y'all acting like he's in there with all-time greats, the Moses Malones, the Dr. J's, that's like, these are great players that he's in the room with. Like, y'all acting like putting him top 15 is a crime. I mean, it's not. Kobe was great, okay? Let's not get it twisted, but he's not top 10 or top 5, right? With all due respect. But rest in peace to Kobe, though. Right? That being said, my number 14, that's my number 13. Kobe Bryant, number 14, I have Steph Curry. Now, this is one thing people don't talk about. So let's put his accolades to the side right quick. In 2022, they came out of nowhere that season. Can't nobody sit here and say they expected Golden State to win the title in 2022. Doing what he did in dominant fashion against the Boston Celtics, a team who got hot down the second half of that year. In my opinion, that shouldn't have been in the finals. My team, Miami Heat, should have been in the NBA Finals that year, but that's neither here nor there, right? It was one shot away, bro. One shot, and if Jimmy didn't disappear for games, 3 and 4, we probably would have smoked them. We probably would have won. I mean, Boston had no business in that final in 2022, bro. Like, let's be for real. Jimmy Butler was one shot away. She didn't even win Game 7, right? But that's neither here nor there. Boston was still there. So he dominated. Like, Boston was like a very gritty defensive team. Like, they gave teams problems. We seen what they did to the Brooklyn Nets. They overwhelmed Giannis in the 2022 playoffs that year. And Bam, they somewhere wore Bam down in 2022 as well, due to their tenacity and their energy defensively. They was like, Boston was a great defensive team in 2022. We was too, but of course Boston was, that second half of the season they were playing on another level. But for Steph Curry to do what he did that year against that Boston Celtics defense, a team, keep in mind, I picked it. The crazy part is I thought Boston was gonna win that title. Steph Curry basically whooped them by himself. Dominated them in every facet. Killed them. The defensive player of the year that year, Marcus Smart, destroyed them. Destroyed everybody who was in front of him. Keep in mind, Klay Thompson was coming off 2 catastrophic injuries. An ACL injury and an Achilles injury. Klay Thompson was nowhere near. Klay Thompson had his moments, but he wasn't Klay Thompson. Draymond Green, people don't argue him a Hall of Famer, right? He is a Hall of Famer. I do agree if he goes anywhere else, if he plays anywhere else but Golden State, he won't have the same impact. I agree with that, but let's not be clear. Like, people who like to poo-poo Draymond Green, nonetheless, I know what Draymond Green brings to the table for that Warriors team. He was great. But keep in mind, people don't consider Draymond Green a Hall of Famer, right? So you got a Draymond Green on the team. You got a Klay who suffered 2 catastrophic injuries that year. Wasn't even the same. You got Otto Porter Jr. on your team, who was known for shacking the fool. He was on shacking the fool constantly in his tenure with the Washington Wizards. People forget about that. Otto Porter was an afterthought. But prior to him winning that title with the Golden State Warriors, he played a big part. He hit some big timeless shots and played great as well in his moments there in the finals as well, right? Gary Payton Jr. in and out of the NBA. Wasn't nobody talking about Gary Payton Jr. until he got to Golden State. These are the players that Steph Curry took to the finals. Like, you could argue that these dudes was outcasts on some of these teams, and he took that team to the finals and dominated Boston. Dominated them. Andrew Wiggins, another dude who people had hype around him as the second coming to LeBron James. Outplayed Tatum. And people, we all know Andrew Wiggins' physical ability. He has the physical capabilities to be great, but it just never happened, right? He's just not that guy. But nonetheless, he was an afterthought after he got drafted in Cleveland and went to Minnesota and things of that nature. He was an afterthought. Wasn't nobody talking about Andrew Wiggins as an all-time great player. Everybody was looking at him as a relatively bust to a degree because he was a #1 overall pick. So he took this is the team that Steph Curry took to the finals. Let's keep this in mind. Nobody was expecting Golden State to do what they did. Jordan Poole, a G League player a year ago, all of a sudden was dominant had dominant moments, outplayed Peyton Pritchard as the sixth man, right? At one point, Peyton Pritchard was outplaying him as well at some points, but down the stretch, as the series got, as the game fours and the game fives and the game six happened, Jordan Poole started to dominate that matchup against Peyton Pritchard, right? So these are the players that Steph Curry took to the finals. G Leaguers, Shaq and the Fools, Outkast, who was in and out of the NBA, in a quote unquote bust #1 overall pick in Andrew Wiggins. Listen, I'm not gonna say he a bust, but he didn't exceed expectations. A lot of people expected more from Andrew Wiggins. I mean, I ain't gonna say I expected him to do more than what he did, but I didn't expect him to be no LeBron James. I didn't expect him to come to a franchise to be a LeBron James. So with that, I digress with that. Nonetheless, Steph Curry is a 4-time NBA champion, 2-time MVP, 2-time league NBA MVP, the first unanimous MVP as well. Should have been LeBron in 2013. That's neither here nor there. 2020 Finals MVP. 2020. He won his one long Finals MVP in 2022. He's a 10-time All-Star. He won the first All-Star MVP in 2022. Was it the Coach? No, it wasn't. No, I'm tripping. He just recently, he was the best player in that 2024 Olympics. People like to hype up LeBron and all this other stuff. It was Steph Curry. You know, he helped those guys win. He was the catalyst to them winning the Olympics this past year, right, in 2024. He has 8 3-point scoring titles. He's a 9-time All NBA first team. He's 9 times All NBA. He was the first player to win a scoring title, shooting 50, 40, 90. He was the first. He also is a 2-time scoring title. I didn't know he won in. Yes, I did. He won in 2016. He won in 2021, right? And greatest shooter of all time, right? And he holds the record right now currently. He's still playing because this record probably gonna get even higher to the point where nobody can beat it. But who knows? Like, due to the analytics and how the game has changed, who knows? We don't know. But he currently holds he has the most career 3-pointers made at 3,368. All right. And he set the record for most 3-pointers made in 2015 and 2016 at 402. Steph Curry was great. You can argue him, like, if Steph Curry, and this gonna be controversial. If Steph Curry win another title, which I highly doubt, it's gonna be a conversation between him and Kobe. We got to start having that conversation. If Steph Curry win another championship, dominate and win, because he would have had, not only he would tie Kobe for 5 championships and also the accolades he has as a 3-point shooter, and revolutionizing the game and changing the game for what it is as we see right now. He revolutionized the game. Like, he got everybody. You either gotta have a 3-point shot or you a liability nowadays on the court now. So he revolutionized the game. It's somewhat a good thing and a bad thing as well. But he revolutionized the game. Everybody trying to he had everybody trying to play like the Golden State, but could nobody do it but Golden State, right? So he revolutionized the game. Not only would he tie Kobe for 5 titles if he was to do it, he also had 2 Finals MVPs. If he was to do that and win another league MVP, and some of the accolades that he got at 6'2" as the point guard, one of the greatest little men to ever do what he did, I mean, you got to have that conversation. 5, if he wins another championship, 5 titles, 2 Finals MVPs. He would have did the same thing that Kobe has done with his accolades due to his championships and things of that nature, right? Just a conversation. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but that conversation will have to be talked about. Number 15, I'm going to make this quick. I made it too long. Made this video too long. But, you know, I'm very excited about this right now. You know, my energy up there. But with that being said, number 5, I got Isaiah Thomas, bro. Like, what Steph Curry did in 2022, I put him over Isaiah Thomas. But Isaiah Thomas was still great. The greatest little man. He was 6'1", Steph Curry was 6'2". Nobody's came close other than Steph Curry doing what Isaiah Thomas did as the little man. Not no Kyrie Irving, not none of these other dudes has done what Isaiah Thomas has done, being being as little as he was at 6'1", the greatest little man ever, Isaiah Thomas. Not Isaiah Thomas, not the Isaiah Thomas that played for the Boston Celtics. I'm talking about Detroit Pistons Isaiah Thomas. Let's make that clear, right? For anybody that try to, misquote me. But nonetheless, he's a 2-time NBA champion. He has a Finals MVP he won in 1990, 12-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star Game MVP, 3-time All-NBA First Team, 2-time All-NBA Second Team, NBA Rookie First Team. And this is something I didn't know about Isaiah Thomas. I didn't know I didn't know how dominant he was also in college either, playing in Indiana State. I didn't know. I just found out today that he actually won a national championship for Indiana State, and was the NCAA Outstanding Player of the Year in the Final Four as well. So Isaiah Thomas wasn't just only great in college, but he was also great as a Detroit Piston too, the Bad Boy Pistons. One of the greatest, he's top 2 all time and one of the greatest little mans to do it. Steph Curry passed him a couple of years ago after doing what he did in 2022. In my opinion, just my opinion. Anybody, I know, people can have their arguments and debates and opinions on that. That's cool. I mean, we can agree to disagree. It's all love. But Isaiah Thomas is top 15. He's number 15. But yeah, he was great in college and as a professional basketball player. Him and Michael Jordan had they head-to-head moments and things of that nature. Of course, I didn't grow up in that era. I watched the Last Dance. I got a little bit of a glimpse. I understand it's 10% of what you actually would be able to actually see. You had to actually grow up in that era to really understand how great some of these guys was. But I just I just love history of the game, and I just study and watch what I see with my own 2 eyes, the little that I can see, because I know I wasn't in that era. But I do respect history a lot. But like I said, man, greatest little man ever. 2 of the greatest little man is 14 and 15. That's all I got for my top 15 all time. I made it a little long this time around, but I'm good for it. It's all love. I don't know what I got dropping next. I got some of this stuff written down in my notes and stuff like that, but I got more content coming for y'all on the way. That wraps up my top 15. Y'all hit that like button. Y'all comment, share, subscribe if you're new. All love. To the next video. Peace.